Okie dokie, guys. I got some news for you guys, okay? So, I think about 2 weeks ago, a new boss on Ventureland dropped. It's Amalgamation, and it's a very interesting boss. It's I wouldn't say it's the best boss to solo because it's not. You can solo normal, but you got to use a dagger and a sword swap, and it's not really as fun as you think it would be. So Amalgamation is basically Vulcan, but a little bit more challenging because of mechanics and the differences in how he works. And of course, there's more to this boss than just the boss. So, of course, first we're going to start off with the fact that there are now new weapons in the game. And these are called Venom Weapons. And how this works is when you do the boss, you have a chance to get an amalgamated orb. An amalgamated orb is basically as rare as getting a boss token from bosses such as Goblin, Rogue, etc. And on the basis of that, if you think about it, these weapons, as you can see, require a blueprint. That blueprint can be crafted with five orbs. Five orbs. Or it can also drop a specific one, because this just gives you a random one. You can get a blueprint as a drop, and then you just need 4 orbs to craft one of these weapons. Okay? These weapons cannot be dropped. Perfect example right here. See how he got a goblin chestplate? You cannot get a venom weapon as a drop from Amalgamation. You have to get a blueprint and then 4 orbs to craft it. Now, here is the biggest thing I can do about the venom weapons. The venom weapons have a damage over time effect known as Venom. And how it works is for every hit, it goes up by 5%. Now, I haven't asked anyone or calculated what the damage is per 5%. But I know that you can get it up to 100%, and it does quite a bit of damage every, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. It only lasts for 4 seconds on players, but on a mob, it lasts for 40 seconds. So you can get, 160 damage ticks when you're doing mobs with this. Venom weapons are alright. I'm not going to say they're the best. Some of them are fantastic. Like, the Venom Dagger is great. The Venom Mace is the best PvP weapon out there right now because you can just bash and just stack a bunch of Venom on a player and just get them melted and destroyed. Whatever. So, I'm really quickly going to go start a run so I can show you what it looks like inside of the boss room. Even though I know most of you have probably already run this boss, I think it just might be helpful for you guys to see. So, when you enter the boss room, you got the 4 crystals. Green, yellow, blue, and red. The red mechanic is explosives. So when you break this obelisk, and you choose to do this one first, you're going to get explosions. So anytime the boss hits you, it'll cause an explosion, and it will make any other player in the vicinity also take damage from you taking damage. There's bombs will spawn anywhere on the outskirts of the map that you have to run into to collect them, and then you have to run through the boss to cause the explosion, which deals no damage to the boss. It's kind of sad. I wish it did more. The blue one is a shield, and in this one, there are no things you have to get from the outside. All he does is throw a shield over himself and causes damage to all the damage you do to him reflect back onto you. It's pretty annoying, especially in Insane. This one just increases the power of the minions. So the minions start to get more HP, they start to hit harder, and then you also have the special mob, which is a mender, and that mob heals the boss and the obelisks. And then this one is the worst by far, because this one increases the amount of venom percentage he inflicts on you per hit. Which, getting to that, which I forgot to mention, every hit from this boss causes 5% venom. When you hit 50%, you want to go to either side. As you can see, there's 3 of these, right? One of these will have green glass and glowstone. Once you hit 50% venom, which will appear on the top where the boss HPR is, and you want to go there, and then you want to land on one of these to reset your venom back to 0. So now back to this. What this does is makes him, instead of hitting for 5%, he does 9% per every hit, which means you have to go back to these more often. And then the special effect of this is when he'll give you something called an infection, okay? And this infection has to be passed to another player by walking through them, and then that person has to pass it on to another person by walking through them. After it goes through 2 people, it disappears. Now, if you leave it on you for too long, it's going to shoot your venom through the sky, and it's going to absolutely destroy you. So that's basically the inside of this boss room, whatever. Just, it's a spider-based boss. And those are basically the basics. For this weapon, you're usually going to want an ag, a mace user, and a sword and another sword user. So basically you'll have the ag. The ag can use a dagger, an axe. In fact, the ag is recommended and should always have a dagger and an axe on them. Their main aggro weapon is going to be the dagger, and they're just going to keep needle spamming, whatever, keeping the damage up, and then they're going to have the other guy who has the mace just smash spamming, just smash, 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 just to keep as much damage off the ag as possible. The reason you want the axe is in case the boss switches aggro, you take the axe out and you decap, so you can take aggro back from whoever the boss decides that he wants to switch his aggro to. After that, the two swords they play the roles of just waiting for the boss to know that they have a position where they can use combo on it. I recommend using your rage abilities, Binding Orb, because that holds the boss in place and he can't move. That's a great thing, because, like I said, he can't move. So that allows you to get a combo in, let the other sword user get a combo in, and then back off. Now, the other reason you want the sword users is after the boss loses 10,000 HP, he gets, air quotes, protected by an obelisk, which means he can't take damage until the next obelisk is destroyed. So then the 2 sword users will go to the obelisk and destroy the obelisk to kind of make it easier, make it a little bit easier on the ags. So the boss is pretty basic. Normal's pretty easy. Now, for hard mode and insane mode, there's a special characteristic that happens. So in normal mode, once you defeat all 4 obelisks, that's it. You just kill the boss and you finish him off. In hard mode and insane, what will happen is he'll get to 1,000 HP, and then the obelisks will replenish, and then you have to beat them in reverse order of how you destroyed them first. So let's say you did red, blue, yellow, and green. Once he reaches 1,000 HP, the obelisk will respawn, and then you'll have to do green, yellow, blue, and red. You just got to do it in reverse order. So if you go right to left, once he reaches 1,000, you got to go left to right, if that makes sense. I didn't know that when I did my first run, so just tips for you guys, for anybody who needed that tip. Amalgamated orbs, like I said, pretty rare. They don't drop very commonly. Another thing on these Venom weapons, they can be 5 to 6 slots. Of course, if they get 6 slots, that's more value for you in case you want to sell it. I would recommend if you get a dagger, keep it, because it can replace any dagger you have except at max T6. So that's basically all for the that's basically it for this whole amalg thing, because it's not really that complex of a boss. It's just he can prove to be pretty difficult at times, and sometimes people complain that he's a little too hard. But I wouldn't really agree with the fact that he's too hard. He's relatively easy. He's a boss you can solo in about 8 minutes on normal mode if you use a dagger and sword swap. So overall, fun boss, great boss. I've had a ton of fun doing this boss. I still haven't gotten my elite back though, from tasks, as you guys can see. Whatever. Clicked the wrong thing. I'm literally missing the do this boss 15 times. Yeah, I know. Sadness. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm also going to be posting a premise video after this and showing you my personal easiest way and non-complicated way of doing insane premise. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it, and you guys are awesome. Stay on fire. I'll see you in the next video.